won't
This
forget.
call is being recorded.
So I won't forget on the Uber conference for those that want to join me on the Uber conference. You know what I'm saying? So people join me on the Uber conference. I'm gonna have to turn off what I'm doing on Spreaker. So those of you that's on Spreaker that just might happen to have just stopped in and you want to join the call, feel free to call me at 614-556-4535. Also, those of you who are in Gye-Nyame and you received your invitation, let me know if you're having some problems in getting on the Hangout, because the Hangout is up and is waiting for you. All right? I'm going to give people a couple more minutes. I'm going to do some announcements. Of course, y'all know that on September 11th, that's right, 9/11, we will be going on our annual camping trip. Yep, it's been reserved and it is going down on 9/11. We will be out in the woods. Yes, we will. We will be kicking it. Yep, that's right. We will be kicking it. Somebody just joined me on the line. I want to thank whoever it is. But before I hang up on my Spreaker audience, so that I had a conversation with the person that joined me from Chillicothe, they say Chillicothe, I am going to shout out the number again. It's 614-556-4535. Once again, 614-556-4535. Feel free to join me over here on the Uber conference so that we can get down and you can join the conversation. But if you like listen, you can listen for now. So, hello, who is this from Chillicothe?
It's me.
Oh, what's up, me? Me. What's going on, girl? Hey, now, usually you pretty shy. You laying in the cut. You gonna lay in the cut or you gonna join the conversation today?
I'm going to join the conversation today.
All right. Well, I mean, actually, you joined last time, but you were sending me text messages letting me know. And I definitely know I heard him talking about me last week when the line dropped. That was so crazy, man. That was one of the best shows I have ever had in my life, and the line dropped. But, you know, that's one of the lessons of life. Sometimes when things are going good, you know what I'm saying, something happens all of a sudden, you have to make adjustments. So I need for you to know that, like, even if I drop the line, and if people are still on, y'all still can continue the conversation. Because the way Uber conference works, unless I, on my end, say that the whole call is over and I click, it shuts down everything. But if I don't do that, if it just kicks me off, that means that the conference call is still on, so people can still have a conversation without me being there. So I want y'all to know that this is the People Show. Those of you that's listening to me, when you call an Uber conference, this is the People Show. Right now I'm paying for it, but eventually, from the labor and from the minds that are gathering, from the conversations that we are having, and from the products that will be produced from our conversation, from the value that we add to people's lives, it will pay for itself. But right now, I pay for the line so that people can have a space to share their commentary, to share their thoughts. And speaking of sharing their commentary and sharing their thoughts, I think Miss Me has a business that she may need to shout out right about now.
I just put a small spoon of rice in my mouth. Give me 2 seconds, okay?
1, 2.
Okay, I am a senior business management consultant with a company named On Time Accounting. We believe in your dreams just as much as you do. So we don't just deal with accounting, but we deal with business management consulting. We will assist you with the transitions of your business, whether you have new products, whether you want to shut down one of your locations, whether you want to close the business, whether you want to start up a whole new business. We also assist with personal budgeting. We have a 3 to 5 week program, 4 to 6 week program, where we teach you about budgeting and we help you change your spending habits and learn a few things about the way that you look at money. because the way that people look at money, it actually affects the way that they draw it to them, how fast they lose it, how the luck that they have, just everything that happens with their money is because of the way that people view it. And the last little piece is we also do tax preparation as well. So we tie all those things together because we want people, our people specifically, to have a better standpoint and be better building blocks in our economic system, in our community, be able to, be a valuable part of our community. And capital is really the beginning portion of that. We have these wonderful views and these ideas, but with the lack of capital, we cannot do anything. So that's why I'm so passionate about what I do. For those that don't know who me is, this is Avant.
Okay. So for those that's joining us on Spreaker, I am encouraging you to come over to 614-556-4535 because she just gave a beautiful little talk right there, and I'm going to interview her on another show maybe tomorrow or maybe even on a Friday night. Maybe I'm going to do it soon because I want her to go into a little bit more about how people see money, how our thoughts about money influence how money comes into our life. That was a strong point, and I think that's something we really need to look at, especially since I'm trying to get this Gye-Nyame complex together. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you're gonna be managing the money for the Gye-Nyame project.
Yes, I've been brought in as the treasurer way back in. I don't remember the year, but I know it was around 2009 roughly. And but yes, I have assumed the position. Y'all just have to really,
get some money. We gotta get some money to be managed.
No, it's not.
I mean, to be honest, we gotta get some money. You can't manage money if you ain't got no money.
It's not just the money, Hatim. There are a couple of things that we need to sit down to do as far as registration and such, so that when we receive our money, it can be calculated appropriately, and tax-wise, we can, claim the things that we're doing with the money, and, it assists us individually because of what we're doing is a great thing, and we definitely can claim those things. We just have to do certain things to be able to do that.
Okay. So, and you're going to protect me from some of the madness that is going on with some of these other organizations, huh?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of madness. See, I try to keep this show clean. If it was Friday night, I'd be straight up cussing. But there's a lot of madness going on with Pan-African and conscious, and I mean, I don't know who these people are, but it is a lot of madness and money madness going on. So, hey, I'm trying to be patient. Those of you that's on Spreaker, for the last time, join me at 614-556-4535. Or you can hit me up online at uberconference.com/HA2TIM My fault, GYENYAME. Alright, that's Hatim Gye-Nyame, those that know me. Alright, so I'm about to hang up on the Spreaker call, and me and Yvonne and whoever else joins the line, we are about to get busy and do some straight wisdom mining because we have some powerful proverbs. As a matter of fact, before I hang up on Spreaker, I'm going to leave y'all with the proverbs. So I'm going to read through them first, Yvonne, then I'll come back and we are going to discuss them. So we are on day 60. We are in Gye-Nyame Journey Workbook, Tribal Quotes, book compiled by me. I just compiled it. I developed a system so that you can use it. So we on day 60. So we over 2/3 done as a group. You know what I'm saying? This is more than I ever thought. Wow. I mean, I never thought that I'd make it this far. You know what I'm saying? I knew I wanted to do a show, but I started and then, hey, it just kept going. So, all right. The first one is don't let schooling. I don't know, Yvonne, if you are on your phone or on your computer, but I'm on screen sharing, so I'm going to pull up the proverb so that you can see it on your computer or maybe even your phone. If it's on the screen, I'm sharing my screen. It says, "Don't let schooling interfere with your education." So, oh my God, that's Mark Twain. I mean, hey. Next one. Chaos is inherent in all compounded things. Strive on with diligence. That's the Buddha. Chaos is inherent in all compounded things. Strive on with diligence. Oh man, I can. Look, I mean, just these proverbs alone is gonna fill me up tonight. You know, I thought I was gonna be hungry, but I'm about to do some serious mining. And oh my God, the treasures I come up with, I might not need to eat for the next couple of days. Next, don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. That's from Niger. It's from the Nigeria area, the Hausa group. All right, that's the African proverb, because you know I try to end all of them with an African proverb. All right. So, Ivana, I'm gonna give you the choice. You want to start with number 1, number 2, or number 3?
I'd like at least, there's a couple of them that I could actually, I don't know which ones was the numbers.
All right. First one was Mark Twain. Second one was Buddha. Third one was the African proverb. You can just pick a number 1 to 3.
You said what? I should do number 3?
I said you can pick any number between 1 and 3. Your choice.
I'm gonna do Mark Twain. Don't
let schooling interfere with your education.
Right. Well, that one's a really, really, really good one, and it's funny because I just got back into school, but I have my reasoning for doing this that have actually nothing to do with education. So, I totally.
Now that question, it don't have nothing to do with schooling, or it don't have nothing to do with education.
It don't,
because there's a difference according to him.
Okay, it said don't let your schooling
interfere with your education.
So I'm saying that I got back into the school and it did not have anything to do with education. Honestly, just in my field of work alone, honestly, my education comes from my hands-on experience. It does not really come from anything that they teach me in the schooling. Honestly, there's nothing in all of my years of schooling that has helped me with my life. The only thing that I can say that has helped and that has anything to do with the schooling that I can turn around and say that it educated me was more on the fact of being able to consistently work through all the hardships, being determined and being diligent. But that still is another lesson that I already learned with life alone. This particular society, Western society, schooling, don't have nothing to do with life. And just right now with the crap that we're going through with our kids' schooling, and all the testing that they have and all these different things have nothing to teach them with how to deal with their emotions, how to move from one project to the other, how to move over their hurdles, how to emotionally stay sound and move, through each obstacle of life, dealing with people, social, society, their relationships, their families, their friends, their businesses. There's absolutely nothing that they are going through in school right now that is helping nurture those things, and as family or as a community, it still leaves a huge gap for us to fill, which we should be doing anyway.
Right.
Which we're doing anyway. But because of, the way that the society is built up, and just example with my being in a single parent home, and and I am more focused on trying to make sure that my children have their necessities and their needs are met. That gap is very wide open. I try to do best that I can, but I know my situation is very consistent with a lot of people, especially in our communities, in our economic level of where we fit on the totem pole, we're the ones that are neglected in that area, and the schools don't do nothing with that. They don't touch on any of that. And we touched a little bit of that last week, I think, because Jill and it was another sister that were teachers. They definitely pour their hearts out to the students, but there are so few. There's so few teachers that really care about the students rather than either the test or their paycheck.
Right. Which they are, in a sense, groomed and forced to have to focus on. The way the system is designed, it keeps us all chasing our tails. You know what I'm saying? We're constantly chasing our tails to make it through the next 30 days, and prices have risen to such a level to where even teachers are struggling. You know what I'm saying? Some people that shouldn't be struggling in our society, like who builds the next generation. They're showing us how much value is placed in the next generation because the people that are preparing the next generation are struggling. So you send in strugglers into the next generation to show them what? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, they have no control really in the classroom because the classroom has to be managed like basically a factory because all these kids are nothing but widgets that need to be able to stand up to the test that they're given. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people out there is like, hey, man, there needs to be some way for accountability to be tracked. And I agree. We need to come up with a way for accountability to be tracked. But do we have to do it at the expense of our children not receiving a well-rounded education? You see what I'm saying? Because like Homeboy says, don't let schooling interfere with your education. There's a difference between schooling and education. Schooling is the process through which we train people. You know what I'm saying? And it's sort of like every other animal in the animal kingdom does not have to go to school in order to be who and what they are. Birds don't have flying academies for birds. Monkeys don't have tree academies for baby monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Lions don't have academies for hunting. You see what I'm saying? But human beings have to have classes to teach individuals how to be human beings, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? And I think that part is the schooling. The education piece is the part that I think we really need to focus on because that includes classroom as well as life. You know what I'm saying? Education is when you are able to start pulling the innate wisdom up out of you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we have to get our children focused on pulling that wisdom up out of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because until they start cracking that, right, they're never going to be interested in anything else in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because how can I put it? When you demonstrate to somebody that they're intelligent, that they have value, they're going to start looking for ways to validate or to at least confirm the things that they say that they know. You understand what I'm saying? When I make you feel smart, you're going to start striving to be smart. You're going to start researching things. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember there were certain teachers that was able to bring stuff out of me that I didn't know that I knew or that I was too scared to share. And once I really started sharing it, I needed to do the research to be able to back up that intelligence. And that little bit of research start building up to a point to where now I'm able to do what I'm able to do. I done read thousands of books. You know what I'm saying? I done listened to hundreds of books. I'm constantly learning in some form or fashion, whether it's through video or anything. My education continues. My schooling has not interfered with that. I have learned how to put the schooling on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Where they want to teach me how to be a robot to fit into their machine. You got something else you want to say on that? I'm sorry. I go off. You got to jump in, girl.
No, well, I mean, all of that makes perfect sense. Is that me
Hmm?
or is that me? Okay, it's
Oh,
an
that's
echo.
that's you. It's echo.
No, you're on the exact same point as myself. I totally agree with that, and it just it really brings up the visions when I see and I've read of how we used to teach ourselves or educate each other and our children on the things that were important, and it was never in that type of setting with the same type or even half of the things that we're forced to use and methods that we're forced to use right now. And then when it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, they're saying, okay, we want this accountability, but if we had the right methods, the accountability would show through the children and the successes of those next levels and those next generations in our society. But the fact that we can pass the test or fail them, whichever way, it doesn't even matter, doesn't give us any inclination on the levels and the abilities of these children. It doesn't do anything but actually hurt them or make them feel less of themselves. They're already feeling inadequate before they're even ready to step into society.
Or I'm not even gonna say I'm not even gonna. I don't necessarily agree with them not feeling adequate. What I'm thinking is that they're calling our bluff. They're like, some of these kids have been watching for so long and are so observant that they realize that some of the stuff that they are getting in school is totally useless. It's like, why? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's the purpose? Can you explain it? And teachers can't even explain why they're teaching some of these kids some of the stuff that they're teaching them.
Right.
And because they can't connect it because they can't make the lesson relevant, right? They can't get the children to take the lesson seriously. A lot of these kids, even though we're living in a fluid country, a lot of these kids are dealing with survival, whether it's emotional survival or mental survival or spiritual survival. These kids are struggling with survival. Just because physically everything may be taken care of, you may be eating on a regular basis, but there's other aspects of life that these children in America are being starved of. And until we deal with the whole person, as we teach in Gye-Nyame, the human being is 5 parts. IMESP, intuition, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. You know what I'm saying? Until we're feeding all 5 parts, you know what I'm saying? Children are always going to have problems. Adults are going to have problems when we don't got all 5 parts balanced out. You know what I'm saying? But we don't strive towards that. We want to work on the mental. We want to, there shouldn't be any emotional reaction. I told the child, no, there should be no emotional reaction. You know what I'm saying? I hurt the child's feelings so bad. There should be no emotional reaction. You know what I'm saying? Why is this child questioning me? You're slowing down the learning process. You know what I'm saying? This child asks too many questions. You know what I'm saying? Stop asking all these questions, Amon. Why are you asking these questions? You're slowing down the process.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got an agenda, right? When in historical learning, the children drove the learning. The children were interested in what the adults were doing. Right now, the kids see the adults not doing anything, so they're not interested in what the adults are doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So why do I need to ask you a question? Because what you're doing is not working for you.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got broke teachers. Teachers is broke. Teachers are struggling. I went to school to fall in debt so I could come in here so I could be cussed out by a bunch of bad kids.
Right.
Nah, man. A lot of these people schooling is interfering with their education. A lot of the people that's making the policies, their schooling has interfered with their education. And because they interfere with their education, they are setting up schooling for our children rather than true education. You know what I'm saying? We are not pulling out of our children. We are pouring in, and we want them to demonstrate what we have taught them. Because we want them to demonstrate what we have taught them, we want them to be able to sit down at a test and regurgitate everything that we have taught them on a standardized test to prove how intelligent they are, when intelligence has never been standard. Intelligence has, you know what I'm saying? I mean, according to the book that I read, and this is, I read a book in 5th grade about Einstein, and what amazed me about that book and what stuck with me about that book about this great guy named Einstein was that Einstein, according to the book I read, could not tie his shoes until he was almost 7, 8 years old. According to the book, he was basically an idiot until he was almost going through puberty. And even then he was all right. You know what I'm saying? So we have everybody's believing that these tests, like the IQ test, let you know how smart your child is. Now let you know how culturally adapted your child is. It don't let you know how smart your child is. It lets you know how good your child can memorize. That's what these tests do, including the IQ test. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the schooling has overtaken the education process and is no longer about those important qualities that make you human. It's almost like we're just trying to program them to be something else other than human. But I'm sorry, you better go on, girl. You better jump in while you got a chance.
I mean, you're on a roll. You're really hitting a lot of key points. I don't really have anything else to add right on that one.
All right. So now you got a choice between number 2 and number 3.
I think it was number 2. What was number 2 again?
Number 2 is by Buddha, and it says, chaos is inherent in all compound things. Strive on with diligence.
No, it wasn't. It was the other one. It was number 3.
Don't let your enemies get in the way of your work.
Yeah.
You want to do that one?
Yes, that one was a little bit. It just stood out a little bit more because it's also something that that I'm currently dealing with. Well, just because of what I'm doing and what I'm developing, people that don't even mean to be an enemy, but their energy is definitely an enemy to what you're trying to create. It does not go along with it, what you're doing, and even though what I'm creating is not easy and there are hurdles and such, I know what my end goal is. I know why I'm doing it, and I know what the legacy that I'm building, what it's for. So I have to go against and avoid anybody that may not understand what they're trying to give me. And I have to see what they're giving me, for what it is, and be able to, put the space between myself and that person, even if it's just for that week or a month or whatever, so that it does not stand in front of what I'm trying to create in a whole, or for that moment, the hurdle that I might be going through, at that current place in time. So it all has to do with, the progress of this entity that I'm creating, the progress of the community, the progress of my children, the example that I'm trying to set, etc. So, I have to see it. As soon as I see it, I have to put the roadblocks up, because, they will stop things that they don't even know what they're stopping. People will see you doing things and not even understand how you're doing it. Know that for whatever reason, it's something that's respectable, honorable, etc., and maybe something that they can't do, but won't have, the decency or the respect to say, you know what, I appreciate someone to do something that I can't, or don't have the patience, or don't have the discipline to do, because it's something that we need as a whole. And they'll throw those stones. And they won't care that they're stopping something that is so much bigger than you or them. It's so much bigger than each of us. It has to do with so many people. I'm trying to create something where we can employ each other and create these things that we, again, need this capital for. Nobody wants to just hand out their own cash and, they want to talk. We want to talk about what we need and how we're going to make it happen. But when it comes to pulling the money out your pocket, people are a little
no.
People are a little reluctant to do that. So,
they're like, no. We got to get somebody else's money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in the African openness to the tree of life, when the Proverbs say, it is not a sacrifice if it's not your own. We have been lulled into a belief that we could donate other people's stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. It's the same as me donating my stuff. We want to depend on other people to do stuff for us. And it's a shame that we are surrounded in a community. We are surrounded in areas of small-sided people. And because they are small-sided and they think that the world rotates around them, they cripple everything that can actually lift other people up and out. And it's almost like this is what's crazy to me, Vaughn. It's like the movie The Matrix. Do you remember in the movie The Matrix, they told Neo, they said, stay away from crowds of people. Because at any given time, when you're running from the agents and you're running through the crowd, the agents can take over anybody's body.
Yes.
And it's sort of like when you try to do something, you got to stay away from crowds. Because this is one of the reasons I'm doing the shows and having the meetings in the way I'm having them, hit and run and popping up doing shows and just, so that I have it in a more controlled environment. I'm able to do the show, whether I'm at the hookah shop or whatever. I can do the shows and kind of control the environment because I don't want none of those Agent Smiths popping up to try to blow my head off because they don't. It's almost like there is a virus that is infecting our area that causes people to do destructive things to anybody that's trying to move above and beyond.
Well,
but hold on for 1 second. We were just joined by somebody. Are you just listening, or do you want to announce who you are? Hello? I got a 937.
Yes,
all right,
937 here.
Yeah, you wanna announce who you are? Or are you just listening?
I was just listening.
Okay, cool. Welcome to the show, and when you want to share some of your wisdom, feel free. Right now we're going through some Proverbs. Are you on your phone or are you on a computer?
On my phone.
Okay, cool. I don't know if on the phones, as far as the Uber conference, you can see the screen, but I'm doing a screen share. And what I'm going to do is go to the Proverbs because you might be able to see them on your phone. Right now, we are working on a proverb that says, don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. And that's from Nigeria, and the Hausa people. We was just talking about, we was just discussing that proverb. So I'm sorry, Vaughn, go ahead.
Okay, this is Aisha, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit more. You were saying as far as like the agents from the Matrix, and basically,
yes.
I mean, they have done really good with the reprogramming of people in a whole. So when a person, sees that you have a dream or, an idea that will assist us with gaining some level of control or just comfortability or, being able to live a more natural life or, any of those things that go against the grain of being a consumer of, one of these sheep that are, maneuvered according to what the media is telling us is going on at the time. If you start trying to break out of that it is just like the Matrix is. They see someone trying to pull that cord from the back of their head to say, you know what, this is not making sense to me. It doesn't add up. And those around you will be the first ones to tell on you. Like, wait a minute, she's trying to go against the grain. And they've done so good with that programming that a person will just be uncomfortable with that next person next to them on the same level as them, trying to get a little more education or understanding as to why we're doing what we're doing and why it doesn't make sense. And they're looking at you like, well, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just continue to be mediocre like everybody else? There's something wrong with you because you want things to be more wholesome or, you know, less evil or, you know, just whatever in the world, whatever reason would push you to go to the grain. You know, we were supposed to stay as that slave and have that mentality, and just to take what we're given and not question anything. So
not question and not think.
Right. People that are around you, it could be your family and your friends, people that even consider themselves that should love you. They're uncomfortable. Right. They're scared right. And they're fear. And they don't even mean to be those roadblocks, but they will definitely be that. You know.
Oh yeah, and it's like they don't even realize it because sometimes we honestly think that people are doing it on purpose, and some people do, but some people just think that they are actually helping you. You know what I'm saying? So when they talk about don't let your enemies get in the way of your work, sometimes those enemies may be the people closest to you because when you start reaching out to do something different, it shows everybody else what they're not doing. You understand what I'm saying? How dare you go out and try to live your dreams, and I don't have enough courage to live my dreams? How are you going to do that? You know what I'm saying? You're making me feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You asking all these questions. I can't even talk with you like I used to no more. You don't drink like you used to no more. You think you're better than us. You ain't smoking like you used to no more. You know what I'm saying? You don't just chill. We always got to sit up here and think. Nobody want to think about that stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they actually, in their fervor, for if you're not strong, they will pull you off your course and help you stay stuck. You know what I'm saying? So because when your mind starts going contrary to where everybody else's mind is going, when you don't come to the same answers or to the same views as everybody else, people start becoming your enemies, and they get in the way of your work.
Right. It really affected me on a lot of different levels. The first thing was when I became Muslim, because you know, even though being a Muslim is not really a rarity in this particular society, you know, the majority are Christian, and you know,
right.
Most of them, whether they really follow it or not, they're at least comfortable with claiming that as the religion that they follow. And as soon as you, as heathenistic as you could have already been acting, as soon as you say, I'm not Christian, it's like worse than you being out drinking and smoking and doing whatever you were doing. It's worse than that.
Yes, it is. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm quite sure, I know you're not the only one to experience that, because it's like, you know, you got a lot of people who may have been doing horrible things and Christianity wasn't the right thing for them. And they found something else. And it worked for them. It helped them clean up their life. And when they go home to their Christian parents, their parents disown them and actually treat them as actually act like I liked you better when you were smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and we could laugh about that, but that is the truth. Because a lot of our loved ones, like I said, man, a lot of our loved ones get comfortable with us in struggle mode.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And when we get into hustle mode, when we get into life changing mode, it shakes people up. You know what I'm saying? It scares people. You know what I'm saying? And then when all of your views are counter, like you question the religions of the day, you question the politics of the day. You know what I'm saying? You question the education system. You question why the vaccines, and you start asking these questions. People get real uncomfortable because it reveals to other people that, hell, I never thought about this. Wait, stop! I don't want to think about that. Now I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? It drops people out of it's almost like a lot of people are in a trance. See, because when you think about it, a lot of people's lives are being driven by fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't work because I love the job that I'm doing. I work because I have to, because if I don't, there are going to be severe consequences. So regardless of where I work, I got to work. You know what I'm saying? And I got to work hard. I'm working for fear rather than I'm working for love. I'm blessed enough at this point in time to have employment or to have a career doing something that I love to do. And I get to run into people who don't love what they do, and they be upset with me. You see what I'm saying? How do you like to go to work? You know what I'm saying? You know, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the piece is, a lot of your enemies, because it says don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. That's domestic and foreign. You know what I'm saying? Enemies, domestic and foreign, internal and external. You know what I'm saying? Because your enemies could be living in your house. Because I mean, even if you have a mate and you start doing some things different, you know what I'm saying? When you find your work, see, because they didn't say they say fine. Don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. It's supposed to be of your work, but I got you work here. But it's your work. They didn't say your job. They didn't say your labor. They said your work. Not everybody has their blessing. Not everybody has their work. I mean, it belongs to you. When you discover that, and like I said, man, that's scary. That shakes people up. That really shakes people up.
And I took your work as your passion. You know.
There you go.
We don't easily associate it. You know, everybody has a purpose, and everybody has their drive, something that pushes them to do a certain thing. And they may not always understand what it is. It doesn't easily transfer in my mind as what my work is, my life's work, you know, what I'm destined to do, what I'm passionate about. And so that's why I tied it in with, you know, those people getting or unintentionally getting in front of you to keep you from your goal. They don't understand why you know, and what you're trying to do for that matter. And they are uncomfortable.
And they don't care. In a lot of cases, they don't even care.
You said what?
You hear me? In a lot of cases, they don't even care. You understand? I mean, they don't even care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care that you might be trying to build something for a legacy for your children and a legacy for their children. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? And they will start destroying it. So it's almost as if the enemies, a lot of times, because we ain't even talked about the enemies because you know, people that are directly your enemies, that's totally outside of you, that you can see that are your enemies, a lot of times won't even be an obstacle for the first few months. You know what I'm saying? Some of us don't even make it to be able to deal with the outside enemies because the inside enemies usually stop us before we can even get anything started.
Right. You'll have your eyes on those. You'll have your eyes. You'll be looking for the ones that you expect to come, and those that you don't expect are the ones that would be right there next to you that you're thinking are going to be the ones that support you. You know, that I thought we had the same common goals and morals and family values, etc. And, you know, but as soon as you hit those, I'm uncomfortable, you know, none of that exists no more. They'll look at you like you're someone different. But, what was the last one that you, I think it was number 2? We didn't touch that one.
Number 2, right. This one is by the Buddha, and it says, chaos is inherent in all compounded things. Strive on with diligence. Let me read that again. I messed up. Chaos is inherent in all compound things. Strive on with diligence.
I'll let you go first.
All right. So whenever we try something, because like we was talking about your passion, your work, whenever we start something like that, one thing that's always going to pop up is this thing called chaos. You know what I'm saying? A disorganization. People standing in our way. People trying to stop us. Our own personal doubts. Our own fears will spring up. You know what I'm saying? Will pop up. Anything that's worth doing, it's almost it's inherent. It's like it's in the nature of all things that become compounded. Anything worth doing that's compounded is going to have branches or issues of chaos that's going to arise within it. And what the Buddha is saying is, don't get caught up in, or at least what I'm picking up is, don't get caught up in the chaos. Chaos is natural, right? I mean, because it's through chaos that we learn how to put things in order. You work with numbers, so you should be used to chaos. You know what I'm saying? Some of these numbers that people be bringing into you come in chaos, and you have to figure out a way to pull it out in order. And I think what this one is saying to us is that in order to pull things out of chaos and to place them in order so that we can understand them, we have to strive on with diligence. We have to push through. We got to be diligent with it. We got to be on point with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this. When you become a master at something, when you become a master, people can throw all types of stuff at you. If you are a master with it, you are going to be able to, within that chaos, to find that beauty, that order. You know what I'm saying? And make it work for you. You understand what I'm saying? So in chaos, it says chaos is natural in compounded things. Now you work with money. You know what compound interest is, right?
Right.
What is compound interest? Give me an example of compound interest for those, because wait, hold on, just a small break. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. You are now listening to Tribal Quotes. I am doing some wisdom mining. I have been I was joined by Sister Me, also known as Sister Aisha, and a caller from 937, and I'd like to thank them for joining us.
This is Brother Daoud.
What's up, Brother Daoud? Welcome. And we got Brother Daoud here. And right now we're talking about one of the tribal quotes, one of the quotes that we're discussing. Also, I want those to know that are maybe listening later on the podcast that we have what's called the line. The number is 614-556-4535. If you have something going on in your area that you wanted to report, you got something you want to vent about, you got a song you want to sing, you got some yelling you want to do, you got some political issues that you want to share, the line is open. All you have to do is call, give me a couple of minutes to get on the line. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't on there in a couple of minutes, just hang up and call back later. But I will call in, and all I got to do is basically pick up the line, and you can be like, Brother Hatim, I just want to vent. Brother Hatim, I want to talk about this. And I just, boom, all right, I'm going to leave the recording on, and I could just hang up. And when I hang up, the line is all yours. You go on and do it. You can do it as long as you want. And like I said, if it's some good stuff, let's put it, in most cases, I'm going to put it up. Unless you're just saying something totally crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put it up, regardless of who it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to get back in contact with you, let you know I'm posting up, let you know that it's available. And hopefully you get out and share it. So now, back to the proverb, man. Chaos is inherent in all compounded things. Strive on with diligence. All right? Okay. So you go ahead. It's your turn, girl.
First, you asked me what compound interest was. And so I just wanted to give a quick, brief explanation of that. Basically, it is the interest that adds on top of a principal or a beginning balance or deposit. And that interest eventually begins to earn interest on top of the interest and no longer on principal. So naturally, a principal loan can gain interest. Well, when it's compounded interest, the interest starts gaining interest. So that is compound interest. When I'm gonna keep it brief like that, but you're about to make me forget what I was about to say with that last proverb. Can you repeat?
You want me to read it again? Let me read it again. I read it again. Chaos is inherent in all compounded things. Strive on with diligence.
Okay. So one of the things that I am learning, just with my own personal life and the current goal that I'm working on right now, with building this particular business that I'm working in right now, it's just an underlining, step that I'm using for me to reach the end goal, which is actually a whole beginning of something great. But headed towards this, everything that could have possibly gone wrong has tried to go wrong. And what I'm learning the most is it's not quite the chaos itself that has anything to do with the lesson. It's more of how I react to that chaos, how quickly I move through that issue and or problem. And when you were talking, all I could see was Bruce and how smooth he would move. It didn't matter if it was 2 people he was fighting, 1 person he was fighting, 12 people he was fighting. His maneuver ability was so smooth, and he was able to just, bend and sway and throw a punch or throw a kick, and he would not look like he was doing half as much as everybody else was around him, but he's beating them all. So it's not really about how crazy of the situations that we have to go through. It's more the lesson of how it's developing you as a person. Bump the chaos. Chaos is inevitable, and we have to go through it. I just shared with you just a little bit of what I went through over the weekend, and the biggest thing that I try to remember is that what is the difference between this and anything else that I've gone through? What am I going to learn from this, and how quick will I recover? So when you have that mind frame and you realize and remember why I'm going through this in the first place, you'll spend less time being angry. You'll spend less time being negative. You'll spend less time having any emotion. It's not going to do anything to help you get where you're going, and focus more of your energy on that end goal.
That's right. Right. Because I think you was talking about Bruce Lee, right? You said Bruce Lee. I wasn't sure. Did you say Bruce Lee?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Now, because now, as a martial artist, you learn how to bring order out of chaos, or you learn how to flow, or in the same token, you learn to flow with the chaos. Because one of the pieces that a lot of us miss is that it's through chaos, it's through some of the madness in the world that we really learn how valuable life is. We learn our most important life lessons through the hard times. You know what I'm saying? If everybody's just getting along and everything is cool, you know what I'm saying, you don't learn nothing. You understand what I'm saying? That's why some people's description of heaven is kind of depressive for me, that's just me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend eternity in a place where it's total peace. I know I don't like drama all the time, but drama kind of livens things up, you know what I'm saying? I get to know my heart is still pumping with some drama. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm wishing for some, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm wishing for some of the craziness that goes on, but that through that chaos, I learn about me. You know what I'm saying? And as a man and as a warrior, as a nation built on a warrior path, I feel that I had a responsibility to have to take on some adventures. And sometimes those adventures come to me, sometimes I seek them out. You know what I'm saying? But we got to have that chaos. And the reason I had you describe compound interest, because it's like, it's sort of like exponential growth. You know what I'm saying? We have small problems or or small things that grow into larger things. So chaos is inherent in all compounded things. So chaos is inherent in anything where you're dealing with exponential, something that's like exponential growth. You know, one plus one is two. How does exponential growth go?
I believe you're trying for the Fibonacci sequence of 1 plus
well,
1.
That's a little bit. That's a little bit different. The Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
That's because that's the first two, like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Where it's like you take the but I'm thinking more of like exponential growth is it doubles every generation. Like they got a question like exponential growth. Would you prefer, if I gave you a choice, would you take $10,000 a day for 30 days, or would you take a penny that doubles every day for 30 days?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're speaking more on, God, I'm trying to remember the word for it.
I mean, that's exponential. That's compounding, right? Because it's like a penny that doubles.
Compound interest as applied to mathematics is based on the rule of 72. You plug in the number that is given for the expected interest rate, divide that by 72, will tell you how often the amount of money you have will double over time.
Whoa, say that again, dude. Say that again. That's dope. You take
compound.
Break that down again, because I'm writing it down. I like that. Say it again.
Compound interest is based on the rule of 72, meaning that given the amount of interest rates offered, divide that by 72 will tell you how much of X amount of money you have will double over time. The people who established this had a third-grade education, so it's never been difficult, but it's just not shared with the people, so the people don't know how to utilize their money and base it on that rule of 72. It's very simple.
This is what I call wisdom mining. From the simple proverb, homeboy came in, he been quiet the whole time, he come in and dropped the rule of 72. Now I haven't heard that since I was 15 years old, but now somebody just dropped it on me again. Oh my God. So like, for example, so you saying if something is like 3% interest, yeah, you divide 3 by 72, and that tell you how long? Okay.
Often the X amount of money you have will double over time. So you could take anything from cigarettes and what you spend in a year on cigarettes, divide that, pick an interest rate, divide that by 72, will tell you how often the money you've wasted will cost you in terms of an applied interest rate and your value over time.
You must be reading my post. I just gave up smoking again, so because I know I was wasting a lot of money. I was wasting a lot of money, but that same compounded growth happens with our small actions, the small actions we put into process, and that's what I think he's talking about. Chaos is inherent in all compounded things. So all things, in a sense, grow and double. You know what I'm saying? And they compound. And in that compounding piece, there's chaos, which makes it look complicated. But what Brother Daoud just broke down for us is the simplicity of it. It's not really complicated. It's very simple if you understand the rules. And chaos is very simple if you understand the rules. You understand that chaos is here in a sense to make us better. You know what I'm saying? Because it's through chaos that we become better. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's kind of like a lot of people look at it as negative because they don't want problems in their lives. But really, when it comes down to it, it's the chaos in our lives that has allowed us to elevate to the point we are where we are right now. And if we had the knowledge that chaos made us better, we would have been more effective with the chaos that we have been given in the past.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
One of the reasons that we look negatively on these situations that we call chaos because we did not go through the rites of passage. when you look back on our ancestors, our people, we naturally would create situations where a person, individual, male or female, could practice using those parts of the brain that we would use through very difficult situations, whether it be war or something systematic that had to do with our community. We had those moments to practice and understand how we should react and what to do. But now, when we already lack both parents and homes, we really have a community and or family, a village that is raising us, teaching us how to, be an effective human. We don't even have that component. All we do is run from the try to avoid it instead of embracing it and understanding its purpose in our lives.
Yeah.
But I want to remind you, this is a little after 11.
Yeah. We done did all three. I want to thank everybody for joining. And for some reason, my baby upstairs crying, so I'm going to have to go check out and see what's going on because they supposed to be asleep. But they brown kids, so hey, they Gye-Nyame baby, so Lord knows what's going on. I'm about to go check that out. And I want to thank my guest, Sister Aisha. I want to thank her. I'm going to do an interview with you on your business. I want to thank Brother Daru for joining us and dropping the rule of 72 on us. I'm going to have you're going to have to come back and explain that just a little bit more. Because I'm going to have to look that up on the internet so I can get a mastery of the rule of 72. Because 72 is one of those magical numbers too. So this has been Gye-Nyame Journey. And this is Tribal Quotes. I want to thank all those that joined me tonight. I want to thank all those that's going to join us in the future. I want to thank y'all for doing wisdom mining with me because the work is in deciphering the wisdom that our ancestors left us, and being able to apply it to our life. So hopefully, either somebody on the line got something from it, or I pray that somebody off the line or on a podcast gets something from this. If y'all could share with your friends. I'm going to post it. The show will be posted hopefully before 12 o'clock. And you can let people know that you was on. And I greatly appreciate both of y'all. And with that, I say peace. And I pray that your night will be as beautiful as you are. All right?
Yes. Good night.
Peace to you, dear
brother. Good night.
Peace to you, dear brother.
Peace.